wherever you are in your life, whether you're a student, whether you're working, you have to make time, an hour or two every day, where you switch off your phone and you switch off your laptop and you don't switch on your iPad and you just pick up a thing that's made out of paper and read it.
I'm Sean Daniel here at the Turning Point USA Eastern Regional Conference in Washington, D.C., and I'm blessed to be with the man that just finished speaking at the event. He's a former deputy assistant at the White House, and he's a political and military analyst and a New York Times best-selling author, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks, Sean.
So first question is, with all the vast political experience you've had as a consultant, speaker, analyst, author, and even professor, what are the top characteristics, habits, and skills that you developed that you believe have contributed to your success?
Is this a job interview? Look, it's very easy. Wherever you come from, whichever school you went to, don't be dazzled by the bright lights. Don't let fancy letterheads sway you. Just be truthful. Stick to the truth. Understand the stakes involved in the current political malaise in America, and start from a very simple place. America is the greatest nation on God's earth for a reason. It is the only nation ever in the history of mankind founded on the principles of individual liberty and freedom, not because of some dynastic history, some accident of geography. That's the guiding light for everything we do. So look for people whose work you respect, associate yourself with them, get to know them. And I think one of the most important things, just be really, really prosaic, is read. I think there's a real issue today with people getting information that's a few characters long, social media, even website articles. Books is where you find knowledge, and not just new books, but the classics. If you go back, if you read your de Tocqueville, if you read your von Mises, your Hayek, if you've got 20 books down that are classic to the tradition of Judeo-Christian civilization, you can take on anything.
So how do you, because it's it takes so much time to delve in really mentally and to fully perceive and totally understand all the reading, how do you put that into your daily life? Like, what's a day in the life for you in the morning? When do you do the reading?
Right. I'm not a good example because there's no average day for me. Every day is very different. But there's only one secret to it. Wherever you are in your life, whether you're a student, whether you're working, you have to make time, an hour or two every day, where you switch off your phone and you switch off your laptop and you don't switch on your iPad, and you just pick up a thing that's made out of paper and read it. If you don't make the time, if you don't disconnect, you will find, I mean, look, I'm a social media junkie. I spend, I don't know, 3-4 hours a day on social media. But at some point, you just got to switch it off and read. And it really will give you greater ammunition for the next time somebody challenges you with some, idiotic politics of identity or some kind of, postmodern garbage.
So to add to all the content that's out there, which can be like just a jungle to read, why did you want to write this new book coming out October 9th, Why We Fight, Defeating America's Enemies with No Apologies? Why did you want to put that out there right now for people to absorb?
A couple of reasons. Number one, I built my career on a very specific part of national security, which was counterterrorism. However, my real passion is grand strategy. So, the big picture strategy of national security. And I wanted to go beyond ISIS, beyond Al-Qaeda, and talk about all the threats we face. I wanted to talk about China, Russia, information operations. So I wanted to give a wide textbook to what we face and what it's going to take to defeat them. And also, one of the things I did in the book is between the strategic stuff, I've inserted these, what I call vignettes, about great American heroes through the last 200 years that many people haven't even heard of. Stephen Decatur, the youngest naval captain in US history, who literally hand-to-hand combat with the Barbary pirates off the coast of Tripoli to bring back one of our sailing ships 200 years ago. People like Captain Red McDaniel, who spent 6.5 years in the Hanoi Hilton in Vietnam, in a prison camp, or even somebody who's famous to those of my generation, but who most millennials will not have heard of, Whittaker Chambers, the man who didn't wear a uniform but fought for America in the Alger Hiss hearing. So I'm trying to reinstill in the next generation the concept of what it takes to defend this nation, and also the timing. It's not an accident that we're 40 days away from a midterm election.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
So with anybody who's really deciding and churning about the idea of really fighting for what's right in the political culture today, specifically young people, because of how vicious it's getting and your experience with that when you take a stand, what advice would you give to someone desiring to take a stand within the government, especially a young person trying to get into it?
It's very easy. Hitler didn't come to power in a coup. It's very important. Hitler was elected into power. The idea that we only lose our liberty when some massive event occurs and, the rebels have to storm the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg like 1917 in the Russian Revolution. No. Sometimes they will whittle away at your freedom, bite by bite, chunk by chunk, and that's what they've been doing for the last 40 years. So I want everybody who's watching to wake up to the reality. When you have what happened to Brett Kavanaugh this week, a man who has a spotless reputation, and within 12 days, he can go from being a Boy Scout to being a serial gang rapist. That should wake everybody up. Because if they can do it to a Boy Scout like him,
that's true.
They can do it to anybody.
And that's why, we have to fight, because it's getting so vicious. And, that's why I just want to thank you for what you're doing to stand up for what is right and true, and taking all the time to delve into it and share it, because, and despite of the attacks that come on you. So thank you for putting it out on the line and teaching us really why we should fight. This book comes out October 9th. Check it out. Dr. Gorka, thank you so much for spending time with me. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you to everybody at Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. Keep doing what you do.
All right. Bless you guys.